So on page 16, we're still on the analysis of Act 2, the twins drift apart. Now the boys are adults, cracks develop in their friendship. It's so sad, I'm off to look at my photo of skateboarding rabbits. It's the only thing that'll cheer me up. Oh, all right, here you go. Mickey's options are reduced further. So Linda falls pregnant by Mickey and they marry. Having an unplanned child at a young age mirrors Mrs. Johnstone's life. So we're back to having children very young, not having enough money or a job to be able to feed and clothe them suitably. And it's this cycle of low paid working class people. Mickey is made redundant, and Mr. Lyons represents the unsympathetic middle class bosses whose jobs are safe. So they kind of, because they've in a safe job, they've got the power to make other people unemployed. And Mickey's redundancy and the song Miss Jones symbolise the decline of Britain's traditional industries and the impact this had on the working classes. So if we think back to when Miss Margaret Thatcher was in power as Prime Minister, if you remember, she was the voice of the traditional industries that were got rid of, basically. So if you remember, it's things like the coal mining industries, the shipbuilding industries like that employed whole towns more or less, and because that was closed, there was mass unemployment, and it was so unfair. And during the song, the stage is full of people in the same situation, and this highlights the widespread unemployment and reliance on the dole. Okay, so if you weren't able to get a job, you had to sign on the dole, which was hardly anything at all to live on. Well, it wasn't enough to live on, and especially if you were having unplanned pregnancies at a young age, you were just in poverty, and it was really, really difficult to be able to get out of that cycle. So Edward's and Mickey's differences become more pronounced. So this is where the massive gap comes between them, and it's not so much when they're very young, and because they are innocent they don't see that. When they become an adult, they not only see it but they can feel it, especially Mickey being in the working class bracket. So Edward is at university. He is living a privileged lifestyle at the moment, and living the life that Mrs. Johnstone hoped he would. So remember, Mrs. Johnstone, she dreamt at the beginning that he would have everything that he would. Do you remember one of the songs said that, you know, he'd have a bicycle with both wheels on? So she's happy that he has got everything that he wanted, and he deserves, and at least one of her children has had that privilege. His middle class privilege stands out against the backdrop of mass working class unemployment. There's a massive difference in the twins. Edward doesn't see why having a job is so important to Mickey and offers him money. He has no understanding of Mickey's need to be independent. He just doesn't get it at all, because he's always had like his parents have always had that phrase disposable income. He's never had to need or want for anything, so he just doesn't get how broke Mickey is at this time. So the twins argue for the first time. The differences they admired as children are now driving them apart. So if you remember, when they were 7 years old, and Edward had the sweets, and Mickey was like, "Here's a sweet," and he admired the fact that he had all these sweets, and he had some to give away, enough to give away. He's resenting that now, and the sweets are now money, and because he offers him money, it's like it's a bit of an insult to him. Okay, so he's now resenting him for the fact that he's got this money to give away, like they had sweets when they were children. So the theme of childhood and growing up Mickey is facing harsh realities of adult life. He thinks that Edward is still a kid who doesn't need to grow up because he can rely on his parents' money and status. Mickey doesn't have that. He's, Mrs. Johnstone hasn't got any money to be able for him to fall back on. She can't bail him out, so to speak. She can't buy him things like a house or somewhere to live or something like that. They just haven't got it. So now Mickey's desperation leads him to crime. So this is a key scene. So this is one of the scenes where you need to really understand the script. You need to know it and remember who says what for your answers in your GCSE. And while Sammy persuades Mickey to help with a robbery, Edward asks Linda to marry him. He doesn't know that Linda has already married Mickey, which emphasises the distance between the boys. Okay, so all this has happened with Edward knowing. It's a bit of a whirlwind. Even though they've known each other for so long, she's just still madly in love with Mickey. However, because of the status that has changed, he hasn't got a job. She's kind of like, her head is being turned by Edward, and he's got the upbringing, he's got the class, he's got the money. He asks Linda to marry him, but he's too late. And by showing the two conversations simultaneously, so these happen both in the same scene. So Russell increases the pace of the scene. So remember, if we try, we spoke a little bit earlier about lots of years passing in one single scene. This is what he's doing again. So he tries to speed up time. It also emphasises that both boys are at a crossroads, and that means in life. It doesn't mean literally on a road that is a crossroad. He means in life. So Mickey has to choose whether to commit a crime, and Edward whether to try to take his best friend's wife, and both make the wrong choice. Okay, so these are life-changing decisions that they're going to make. So we need to talk about the writer's technique of language. So after the robbery, Mickey repeats, "You shot him, you shot him," and Sammy replies, "I know I bloody did." And this, together with the rhyme of did and hid, mirrors the pattern of speech in the children's game in Act 1. Okay, so he goes back to the same technique that he used as a child when they were 7 years old. He does it again in this scene when they're adults. It's kind of like a circle and a cycle and a mirror. And this emphasis that their childhood is over and it's not just a game anymore. So remember when they were playing cops and robbers and they were shooting each other, and it's okay because you can get back up again. This time it's real life. They're adults now. That doesn't happen. So during his time in jail, Mickey becomes depressed and hooked on antidepressants. So he's addicted. That means he's addicted to the antidepressants and prescriptions that the doctor's given him. And Mrs. Johnstone likens Mickey's problems to those of Marilyn Monroe and says that his mind's gone dancing. So if you've done your research on Marilyn Monroe, you'll remember that she died having taken an overdose. Her mental health was not good. She was depressed as well. And this is happening the same to Mickey. And the motifs of Monroe and dancing were used previously to symbolise happiness. However, now they emphasise how wrong things have gone for Mickey. So it's using the same kind of the motif of Marilyn Monroe, the same way that her life took a turn for the worse. She killed herself with an overdose. Things are not going great for Mickey. They're kind of going in the same direction. So this is a key quote you need to remember. "You've not had much of a life with me, have you?" And Mrs. Johnstone says that she feels sorry for the fact that she's not been able to provide, and it's every mother's dream to be able to give everything that you can to your children. You always want them to have what you never have, if you've ever heard anybody say that. And Mrs. Johnstone is, she's reflecting on what has happened over his life. And that's what I said to my pet Satsuma, Monty, just before I ate him. It was true, he'd been sitting in that fruit bowl for nearly a week, watching his friends get picked off one by one. Yep, life is tough if you're a citrus fruit.